Welcome back to Minnie's Miscellanies and happy almost Christmas. We're still 7 days away from it, but in this year of not being able to look forward to anything really, Christmas is one of the fixtures and one of the things you can look forward to and know that they are going to happen somewhere, someplace, in some kind of fashion. I never was big on Christmas before, but this year, maybe it's because of COVID, in other news, not as fun, not as exciting, I'm kind of hitting a flat on my ideas for new content, and rather than pushing myself to come up with anything, I thought I would, strap on the auxiliary wheels again and do a reading tastes tag that I've been sitting on for months now. Steve Donoghue tagged me months ago in his reading tastes tag, and it was so fun and also a bit intimidating to be tagged by a very much bigger YouTuber. First question is, what is your favourite genre? It's not a genre, but classics are my main and favourite thing. And within that, probably autobiographical and non-fiction accounts, or slightly fictionalized accounts. I've studied them enough to know that they are not non-fiction, strictly speaking, but they are very fun to read. And because otherwise this would delve into a totally dry, question-answer type of tag, let's do some reading recommendations. I have two very, very niche interests within autobiographical accounts, first-hand accounts, and this will also answer question number 10, what are you reading currently? Early polar exploration accounts are my main, very, very niche, but very favourite and very beloved thing. I'm currently reading The Worst Journey in the World, which is kind of a account, or like looking back at the disastrous Roald Amundsen and Robert Falcon Scott race to the South Pole from the English point of view. So disastrous it was because the actual race to the South Pole didn't go well, and the people who went on that expedition within a bigger 3-year expedition, it was 5 people and they died on the way back. They didn't make it first to the pole, so Norway claimed the South Pole for itself. But it was a longer expedition. A member of the expedition wrote up a very thick account of it, detailing their lives, the weights, everything they carried, the amounts of supplies they had, and the difficulties and the joys of being one of the first people to walk on the South Pole. And that's really amazing. This, by the way, this is the diary of Robert Falcon Scott, and there is also, but I only have it as an ebook, there's also a version that kind of juxtaposes the diary of Roald Amundsen to the diary of Robert Falcon Scott, so it's like on opposite pages, which is also quite amazing. Another great thing that this does is looking back at other expeditions that came before them, and giving information about those and kind of giving you further reading if you're interested in early polar exploration. It was very adventurous, I have to say, reading, that's some real life adventure. And also currently reading, and also a genre that I'm very deep diving into right now, is the diaries of Heian Japanese court ladies. So this is the Pillow Book by Sei Shonagon, which was written around the turn of the 10th to the 11th centuries in Japan at the court of the Emperor of Japan. And this is another diary by a rival court lady, if you could say that. I mean, it may tell you something if I say that the diarist of this book wrote The Tale of Genji, which I have one of 2 volumes here. It's an absolute chunk of a book, and I'm hoping to group read that in January. Let's stay with the Pillow Book. The Pillow Book is a group read as well this month. It's weird, it's kind of a bullet journal from 1,000 years ago, if you will. It's a mumble jumble of lists of things, places, feelings, emotions, colours that are classified as being either giving you a calming feeling, giving a joyous feeling, being disgusting, being inappropriate but funny, being inappropriate but giving you a calming feeling. It's really fun, and peppered through that are anecdotes from the court and funny stories, disastrous stories, shocking stories. It's full of court gossip, and it's just overall really fun but really weird to read. I would recommend starting with the Diary of Lady Murasaki because it's just shorter. There are 2 other diaries that I know of that were not written in the court kind of context, but still by high-class ladies. And that would be the Gossamer Years or the Kagero Diary and As I Crossed a Bridge of Dreams. There's another one, the Izumi Shikibu Diary, which is from a court context, but I couldn't find that anywhere. It's really hard to find. Supposedly published by Penguin in the 70s, but can't find it anywhere. No mention of it anywhere. But the first 2 are kind of easy to find and very enjoyable to read, even though they are very introspective and rather melancholy. They are written by women who are looking back at years of unhappy marriage and questioning their motives going into the marriage and the nature of the relationship between men and women in the society they are living in. They are very interesting to read, but also very far removed from my usual sphere of cultural experience, if you will. But that makes it even more impressive that the feelings that they express in these diaries are so familiar. The feeling of regrets, the feeling of jealousy, the feeling of looking back and not liking what you see, the gossip, all of that feels so familiar. I felt that myself, and apparently ladies from 1,000 years ago in the court of some long-dead emperor of Japan have felt the same, which is just mind-blowing, amazing. I love that. So moving on with the actual tag, the second question is, what is the most difficult genre for you to read? And that would be definitely modern autobiographies. I just can't muster the interest in the lives of people that lived at the same time as me. Now of course that sounds very harsh, but comparing the life accounts of people who lived 1,000 years ago with people who live right now, or whose star was at the height of their fame 2 years ago, let's say, it's just more interesting to find out about that sunken world that can never come back than to read about someone who lives in the very same world of experience and cultural reference as I. All of that is just a matter of comparison. I'm sure that in 50 years someone will look back at the biographies and autobiographies that I am dismissing now and see them as something absolutely amazing and documenting a way of life that just is not anymore in their time. So yeah, it's just a matter of perspective, really. The third question is, what is your preferred age range? Is that meant like the age of the book? Or like age of the characters? Let's just say I like older books. Are you a character-driven or plot-driven reader? Definitely character-driven, although I don't mind a piece of fast-moving plotline, but characters are the things that I like to memorize and identify with and treat them as real people, if that makes any sense. So definitely character-driven. Do you have a preferred perspective? Yes, I do. When the narrator is heterodiegetic, I like him to be, or her, to be omniscient, and when they are homodiegetic, I like them to be unreliable. Now, what is heterodiegetic, homodiegetic? Quick lecture time. The diegetic level is the level on which the story takes place, which would mean that a homodiegetic narrator is a character in their own story, and a heterodiegetic narrator would be someone standing outside of the story, let's say authorial voice narration, for example. Do you have a preferred tense? Nope, I don't. I like when a book jumps around with the tenses and knows what it's doing and kind of plays with the effect of time constriction and dilation that a change of tenses affects essentially in the reader. For example, Wolf Hall actually did that and it was really amazing. I love that book in general, but that's one of the books that I think did it really well. Seventh question, do you like series or standalone books better? Standalone books, definitely. I don't have the time and patience for series. I mean, I do read them, but when I see that a book is part of a series, I'm like, here we go. So I feel like I have to read all of that, like the whole series, in order to understand the bigger picture that is painted here. If that makes any sense. Eighth question, which would you rather, long or short books? I think shorter ones, but I think anything up to 300 pages is a short book, so keep that in mind. Which formats do you like best? I love Smithsonian hardcovers. However, they are really hard to come by these days. Most of the hardcovers you buy like nowadays are glued, like common cheap paperbacks. So, but yeah, for reading, probably I prefer actually paperbacks because they are easier to hold open. But hardbacks all the way. Ebooks are nice, especially because you can see how much time it's going to take you to finish reading this particular book. But it's not the same. It's kind of like a substitute at best. Audiobooks, I have a love-hate relationship with them. I do like rereading books on audiobook because I'm not paying attention to audio all the time. I have a really hard time listening to someone speak continuously. Really hard time. You have no idea. I can't concentrate for a longer stretch of time on someone talking. And of course audiobooks with several hours of running time, it's impossible. So I zone in and out sometimes. Can't really listen to more than like 1 hour at a time for like in one session. So yeah, audiobooks. But for books that I already know and like, it's quite nice just being told the story that I already know. That's quite nice. And what am I currently reading? As I said, right now I'm reading The Worst Journey in the World and The Pillow Book, both of which are amazing, and I think they're gonna be 5-star reads. Easy. Thank you for watching, thank you for coming this far. And since this is a tag, I am going to carry on the torch and tag lovely Risha, Fina, Kitty and Ilan from all of their respective channels, which are linked, of course, everywhere around the screen. Will probably be plastered all over this. They are amazing girls from all over the world who love reading and who love classics, so if you want to watch some truly amazing videos about classics, about books, about buying books abroad, go check them out. And since I have nothing more to say, happy Christmas and until next time, bye!